Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan, and it is good to be back with you for this special bonus stream. This is in Thanksgiving for 300 followers, so thank you to everyone who has followed the channel and helped build up this community and be a part of it. I am here to suffer on your behalf tonight with Getting Over It with Bennet Foddy. We'll have a good time. But first, want to say congratulations to you, Kit. You have won the crown of Firstendom on this, the day of a bonus, a very special first. It is yours. Congratulations. And good to see you again, Brayherd, Gale, and Bad Roxy. Good to see you. And thank you, Gale, for running that prediction. So Gale will be running predictions for every hour of play. These are obstacles in the game, and wherever I am at the end of the hour, whichever obstacle is closest, not which one I have made it to the farthest, which one I am the closest. I look higher resolution on screen at your PC at home than I look on your phone. Oh, I wonder why that is. That's a weird concept. So I have not ever played Getting Over It with Bennet Foddy. I have seen it played. I own it, obviously, to do this. I have never even booted it. So we're going to go through that adventure together. And at some point, probably more towards the midpoint of tonight, I will suffer and eat a gummy pickle. I cannot guarantee that I will eat all of it, because that's quite frankly a lot of sugar. There are 3 servings to this one pickle. But I will eat... Get real pickle taste. That's the worst part. I will at least have some of this. The things I do for love. Okay, let's dive into this. Pickles are low cal. You can eat it all. This thing is 360 calories. That is not low calorie. I have a regular mouse. Oh. Ah, yes, that's how I emerged from a pot in the morning. You can run this on Ultra 144 hertz. I could. A serving or all of it. All of it. A serving is approximately 120. Oh, this is already weird. Isn't Bennett supposed to say things? When is that supposed to start? What's the devil's chimney? It's as awful as it sounds. Also good to see you, squirrel. Maybe I should try to obtain some mushroom candy to give you a Doxcon. No! I will reject mushroom candy. This... Okay, so I've watched a non-zero amount of this. Mostly because the Peter Tony did a bunch of it. Oh, dear. These controls are even weirder than I could have imagined. Because it's all mouse. There's no clicking.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up.
If I didn't start over.
Like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here.
Should have gone with 3. Well, there's a lot of hour left. Oh. Whoa. Come on, Diogenes, you can do this. No, Diogenes, how could you do this? What kind of meat would taste best as pizza topping along with mushrooms, badger meat, or snake meat? Badger, 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 obviously. If we're gonna do old Flash memes. Whoop. Okay, careful. Haha! Take that, you evil tree. It's kind of the fact it has like an opposite pendulum effect, like in the how you control him.
All right. Thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game. And don't worry, I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
Oh, good. Thank you, Bennett. Yeah, because like you're moving one way to get the hammer onto
This game is a
something.
homage to a free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking. The author of that game was Jazuo, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages of found objects. Designers slap them together very quickly and freely, and they're often too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building them than as polished products.
Nope. Honestly, speedruns of this game are nuts. Like, players beat this game in like 45 seconds. Also, I hope you don't mind me interrupting here to ask, what books do I have on my shelf? Also, what books do I have on my current desk? I feel like when I had a catechism question, it was on your desk. It wasn't on my desk, but it was on my shelf. On my desk currently is the documents of the Second Vatican Council. This is a translation by Austin Flannery. This is the translation into English. It also includes the sort of follow-up documents that were the initial implementation of a lot of the documents. So I've been rereading Lumen Gentium recently. I just hadn't read it lately, so it was good. I have a lot of books on my shelves, because I have 2 bookshelves, so I have, like, various general theological stuff, systematic theological stuff, liturgical books, liturgical commentaries, scriptural commentaries, philosophy. I have this whole section of books behind me is like a collection of Paulist books, so like books by the early Paulists. Yeah, wasn't immediately on my desk, but it was very much on hand. Yeet.
In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game. It's built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts, and it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery. And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Whoop! I make the same sound Diogenes does here. Kind of a whoop. Hold on, I'll refund everyone's points real quick and make a new poll. Oh, with more clear language. Okay. Well, I'll try to not make too much progress. I think it'll be okay. Whoop. Okay. The panic swings are really punishing. Oh, no, this will be longer. That's just the first prediction. I'll at least go my usual 2 hours, but maybe even a little longer.
Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game. It might take you an hour to get over that tree.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
I mean, I could definitely see this game making me angry, but I'm also trying to just approach it with like a very calm attitude of, it's a game. It's okay if I mess up. I will mess up. New prediction is live. There we go. I will admit sometimes when I hook onto something and then he keeps going when I don't actually want him to is a little frustrating.
Oh, no.
No. Slid off the coffee cup. Yeah. The Debris got in my way. First it was Deborah fighting me, now it's the Debris. Yes, I know it's pronounced debris. Okay, put myself there. Myself down. Whoop. What does chat thing think, I'm guessing, the orange of hope is? It is debris! Oh, is that part of the orange table? I didn't want you to do that. Yeah, operating out of the null zone, kind of the center zone, seems to be the hardest. It sits upon the table. Yes. Oh! I don't think Debris is in the chat right now, nor is she in orange. She's got orange in her hair. Checkmate, atheists. Hey, I took care of the coffee cup while I was up here. What do you have this labeled as? Trees?
If you need to take a break, it's okay. I've saved your progress.
Yes, Bennett, I'm sure you have saved my progress. This is still the trees. Is the trees versus singular tree different? How many ways to checkmate an atheist, much like how many ways to peel an orange? How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? I am on the mountain. Ooh. Oh!
Oh, you just lost a lot of progress.
No, I didn't.
That's a deep frustration, a real punch in the gut.
How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Yeah. It's a saying. Hey, you never heard it? Oh, interesting. What's the implication? It's kind of unknowable, you know? It's like, how long will that take? I don't know. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Oh! Bring myself in. Progress! Lower myself back down, because I'm getting caught on something. I'm trying to launch myself here, like that. No, 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 no. I should not be doing this with a wired mouse.
The obstacles in sexy hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating. But I'm not sure Jazuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing.
I was doing it
happened
with a
to me as I was building
trackball. I'm
this
sure you were, Gale.
I'd have an idea for a new obstacle.
But you
and
do
build
everything
it,
with trackball.
test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past a new obstacle was my fault as a player. rather
Even
than
my
as a builder.
taxes. What are taxes?
Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them. And it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
Okay. So this is the Devil's Chimney.
When you're building a video game world, you're building with ideas. And that can be like working with quickset cement. You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with, and in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world, not without breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas.
Okay. Diogenes? I really need you to work with me here, honey. Okay, I disagree with what just happened because I picked my mouse up and it decided to do things. No, 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 no! Oh! Oh! Okay, we've seen better days. Going to test your saintly patience with this game. You know, it's interesting because, like, I can have a short temper, and I had a really bad one as a kid. For whatever reason, when I'm streaming, I can be incredibly zen. I forget what, like, there was already one game I was playing on stream once that, like, historically would make me very angry, and just playing it on stream, I was just like, okay, we're gonna do this. Maybe it's the performative action of it all. No.
Oh, it happened again. Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
I see what I was doing wrong there, because... You can't go asking Kit those kind of questions. You have to pay to earn the answer to those questions.
This thing that we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Mary Pickford.
I'm definitely more road ragey when I'm in the car alone, so I believe it. I do this really funny thing when I'm in the car with other people. I put on like a bad, like Wisconsin Midwestern accent. And that's just the way my brain has just like decided to, you know, be polite with my language when I'm with others. And so I'll do things like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, hey bud. Hey bud, you doing okay there, bud? Hey. Pay you, said. Well, not pay me. However, if you pay me 300 bits, I'll spin the wheel of candy.
Get nasty over there, boy. Going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad, and I ain't going to be treated this way.
I find controlling the sort of in and out of the hammer the hardest. Okay, we're back to the pipe. That was just a brief, like, what, 10-minute, No. Man, ripping pepperonis. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to do that. The prediction will be closing soon. Get your bets in. Use the current knowledge of how I'm doing to help make your decision.
$10 shoe fits my feet. A $10 shoe fits my feet. $10 shoe fits my feet, and I ain't going to be treated this away.
$10 shoes, that sounds expensive.
The weather suits my clothes.
Right now, Tree is winning. In terms of the votes, or because of where I am? It's a little known fact, Gail was a bookie in a previous life.
Turn down, boy, turn down. Hey!
Nope.
The soul would have no rainbow had the eyes no tears. John Vance Cheney.
I actually don't know who that is. There's a black market bookies in your current state. I mean, gambling's illegal in your state. All bookies are black market. Human dollar bets on your human baby?
The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal. C.S. Lewis.
The way he sometimes pushes himself away from his hammer is obnoxious. I will bet 1,000 human dollar redues, Bad Roxy, that your baby is born on February 31st. Gently. Bring myself in. I've asked you before what your favorite Bible translation is. Ooh, Okay, spoiler alert, it's not the KGV. It's been a while since I've done like a comparison. NRSV is always like a good one for me. Although it does have its own flaws. NAB's okay. I wish there's a little better for Proclamation. I like the Proclamation standard of New King James, actually. It's my favorite translation, the Joseph Smith translation. Nope. New World Translation. Nope. Palmarian? Extra. Nope. Okay, we're back. Back to the chimney. What about the HWP? I am not very familiar with that one. I don't even know what it stands for. Okay, no. Okay, interesting.
You've done this part before. You know it's possible. Just do what you did the first time.
I did lots of things the first time. Hawaii Pigeon translation. Oh, okay. Sounds interesting. I would not have recognized HPB either. The various English pigeons that are out there are fascinating. There's actually, BBC has a pigeon website.
No.
It was definitely a mistake to try doing this with a wired mouse, but we live here now. It's very hard to course correct when you start making an error. Like, if your hammer is out in a direction, that's it. You live there now. And the way the hammer can or cannot clip through things is intriguing. Wait a minute. This game is just poorly coded. The Lolcat Bible translation is vetoed by El Padre. I wonder why. I have a Bible comic book. It's not the whole Bible, but it's a pretty sizable amount. It's like 3 1,500-page volumes. And the 2-page spread depicting the breaking of the seventh seal's pretty metal. Have we gotten over it? You know, amazingly, we haven't. But nor have we raged. We have made mistakes. We're at the Devil's Chimney. Nor have we eaten the gummy pickle yet. Okay, that was progress. That was progress. Well, Cat's Bible is an experience. Yeah. So if someone were to commit some Bible passages to memory, would you recommend NRSV, NIV, or a different one? Afraid I don't have much interest in Latin, so the Vulgate's probably out of question. Yeah, that's okay. The Vulgate's also got its own flaws. As historically important as it was, we have better originals than Jerome did. I mean, really, whichever one is NRSV, NAB, NIV, whichever of those is really going to sort of best match how you normally speak is the best way to make it the one that you can memorize. Bible in Cockney? What? Hello, Jesus spake. Oi, governor! Whoop. In all instances, it looks like KGV's out of the question. Yeah. Oh, God. No, I'm not. Not asking you to push away. Wow, that sure is step zero. I don't foresee that getting prayed in a church. Okay, spin this round. Push. Surprisingly, the... Oh, are you serious?
I feel within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still and quiet conscience. William Shakespeare.
That was malarkey. Oh, Step Zero is cheered with 300 bits. Oh, give me just a moment. Let me get settled in here. There was the guy who's convinced everyone that Revelation was okay to include New Testament. I mean, I'm not saying Jerome was wrong or bad. I actually think he's quite important, but I'm also going to say that the Vulgate that he made was, you know, certainly has some wonderful insights of its own, but also lacking. Okay. What's the terrible candy? Vanilla milk. What is with the Japanese candies today? You love flavored milk? Oh, so you like brown cows? Get the chocolate milk, white cows to get the vanilla milk, and the pink cows to get the strawberry milk? Okay, the lid of this one does not want to stay closed. I actually spilled about half of them at some point, but... I mean, do I have to left cheer with? Who knows? I mean, that's really between you, your credit card, and your budget. Get on the barrel. It's good enough. No, it's not.
You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better. But this is not true. You're sure to be happy again. And knowing this, truly believing it,
What makes
will
you
make
think
you
I'm
less
not happy
miserable
now?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh! We're listening to what I said earlier today about the whole mixing flavors thing. And how I was surprised no one had done that. And then everyone's like, oh! And by everyone, I mean Gale and Step Zero. Great, not only am I frustrated, the game is quoting at me. I'm actually not that frustrated. Well, thank you for the gift sub to Tyrael Knight. Oh, and Squirrelage. I'll take an emote and a candy too. Great. Umeboshi! Again with the Japanese candy! Umeboshi and... You presume there's a queue system? I'm not that fancy. Oh, and Enchilokas. Okay, Enchilokas is a classic. This is going to be an experience. Yes, it is. Okay, so the Umeboshi, this is like, I believe I looked this up and it was like a plum? It was either plum or sweet potato. Why are they two colors? It's salted plum. Why are they two colors? I'm gonna go for a red one. That's odd. And it's only going to get weirder. One for salt and one for the plum? Maybe, but they're not even. Enchiloka. The Enchilokas have gone stale. No one can prove that Gale is stealing your jokes. Oh! Don't roll again. Just wanted to push the hype train level 2. Well, okay. I appreciate the mercy. Whoa! Squirrel! Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. To McCavity Pie, C. Buckshot, DY Mongoose, Bad Roxy, Beer Fox, Bray Herd, Celestium Art, Historical Mustache, Jesus is Lord. Oh, spicy tamarind mango with milk. Vanilla milk is weird. That's a flavor I cannot recommend. Oh, and whoa! And another 10 gift subs. Oh my goodness. Cactusception, Moonwolf, Bravo, Burly Pop, Dan Martineau, Astro Bezos, Webby Pumpkin, Will Pog, Catholic Praying, Chili Bella. Thank you so much for your generosity. Level 6 record type train. Let's go. All I can taste is chili now. But my brain is going, no, but there should be other flavors. It's this I-beam that's really getting to me. Because it's like the metal on the metal has a different reaction. Gonna be real with you, I just wanted to beat the hype train record. That's fair. Being really real, I feel like I've spent more time on Twitch than I'm comfortable with. So as soon as my 6-month in advance sub to you pops up in 8 days, I'm disconnecting my payment methods from Twitch. That is fair, and I respect that, Squirrel. I thank you for all of the generosity you have given. But I also, if that is what you have discerned is what you need to do for your best self, I support it wholeheartedly. I still have some gummy pieces of spicy mango in my mouth. Yeah, you're not eating the terrible candy. You're buying entertainment. And I appreciate the support. But doing advanced insurers still get sub benefits. Can still have my payment method disconnected. There you go. But yeah, I imagine along with that is probably you trying to intentionally spend less time on Twitch, so we'll probably see a little less of you, which, again, totally support. You're always, of course, welcome here, as Sub-Zero said, but, you know. Figuring out our online time is always weird. Okay, why didn't that grab on that time? I'm confused. I appear to be having trouble. Yeah, it's like I'm playing this game. I do believe that the Devil's Chimney is generally regarded as the first major milestone that stumps a lot of players. 2 subs I had been paying pretty comfortable, but at some point are to want to splash the pot, so to speak. That's the part of me that's been getting out of hand. That's fair. That is fair.
For years now,
Yes!
people have been predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated
Let's go!
objects,
Gotta have the Devil's
bought in a
Chimney!
store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened.
Still the coworker, you'd
Because
be
the
playing
objects
this,
in
the
the
shock on
stores
their
are
face is
trash.
delightful, and yes, the chimney is
I
the
don't mean
first
they
great
look
filter.
bad or that they're
And
bad
guess
made,
who just got
although
through
a lot
it?
of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
Oh, sorry, Britt. I think the first train has sailed. What do we get in this hype chest? Oh, I got a weird dancing goblin man. The vertical wall is usually harder on the third try, so probably because you get, like, comfortable with it, and you're like, I know how to do this. I will say, like, I'm finding the controls could be a little tighter, and I know that's maybe the point of the game, but I do like the layout. Hey, Bravo, good to see ya. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, no.
Maybe it was a goblin. Oh, it's still Trogdor. No, it definitely wasn't a dragon. Salted plum candy tastes weird after an enchiloca. Actually, just trying to hook onto that metal frame. 11 minutes. Not a point hole right now. Oh. But I do like that there are certain points where it's like if you fall, you're going to fall back pretty far. But here, you know, if you fall back, you don't have to redo the Devil's Chimney. While you're still learning this. Whoop! Rumpa!
Over time, we've poured more and more refuse into this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused. When everything around us is cultural trash, trash becomes the new medium, the lingua franca of the digital age. And you can build culture out of trash. But only trash culture. B games, B movies, B music, B philosophy. Maybe this is what digital culture is. A monstrous mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of in it. Grand, infinite, and unsorted.
Now I'm getting inside my own head with this. This game released 7 years ago and is still super valid in its messaging. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Churro! Currently we're working on getting over it. I feel emotionally I'm pretty over it, but physically, still working on it. Feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Hope you and the wife and the baby are all good. I do have to eat so many terrible candies. Chat keeps making me. I'm gonna do something. Hold on. I'm moving my mouse. What's the worst candy This stream so far, the combination of umeboshi, vanilla milk, and mango spicy tamarind candy. Anyway, I've moved my mouse to the front port, and now it's not registering. I just made things worse. Okay. Meep. Meep wants to climb the wall. It's been a while. Work's been picking up, so it's hard to catch stream. That's fair. Did I? Okay, no, it's just my ears. I am still coming through on both sides. Meep watches uncaring. Aww. Meep's just enjoying the music. What kind of bad candies? Little of everything, honestly. They're not all necessarily bad, though sometimes when they get combined. But they're all certainly unique, so it's there's tamarind candies in there, there's some interesting, weird Japanese hard candies.
Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. Mere
I
fright.
bounced in entirely the wrong way. I think that would have been a pretty hard recover, just given the angle of everything. My points! I'm sorry. Take it up with Bennet. It's okay, I can recover. We've made it through here before. In 4 minutes? I mean, speedrunners beat this game in like 35 seconds.
To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Friedrich Nietzsche.
It's not what I'm doing. I adamantly disagree, game. Also, I feel really weird playing this because, like, it's just the mouse, so it's one-handed. So my left hand's like, what do? I could rest on the keyboard, but that doesn't do anything. Vogue. You play another game? I'll play Final Fantasy with my left hand. Your other hand was clenched? Dang, this was making you spicy. Which one? All of them. You're playing this one-handed? Show off. Sure. Bite my nails? No, because that'll... Biting your nails is really bad for your cuticles. I do appreciate, though. Apparently, you all had good confidence in me to get over it, because none of you voted trees. If you bite your nails, they're uglycicles. Snake run world record is 1 minute 53 seconds 985 seconds by Hikesy. What's the just like get to the top of the mountain speed run? Because isn't Snake 2 loops? If you were behind the tree, there would be no valid answer, so the points would be refunded. Interesting. Yeah, I've watched the world record speed run of this. It's pretty nuts. And time. We'll have to watch a movie and make our baby betting board. There you go. Oh, Bedroxy, you're going to want to stick around for this. Because I'm going to take this as the opportunity as soon as I get right here. I'm going to eat the pickle. And Thanksgiving for 300 followers, which is awesome. Thank you to all of you. I am going to eat... I don't know if I need scissors yet. We'll try without scissors first. No, this happens to me every time with this kind of packaging. You have a Pickle King emote? That is weirdly specific. Oh, good. It's sealed behind more plastic for my safety. Gonna grab a tissue in case this is... Oh, that's not right. That is... way firmer than it should be. Like, that's me bending it. Oh! I should not have smelled that. At least it's... No, I've got nothing. You ever just describe the smell? Like sweet vinegar and a hint of artificial dill? I'm going to need many whiskey shots after this, I think. I'm just going through the things in my life that have led me to this point. And I'm wondering where it went wrong. Well, this one's for you, Twitch chat. Thank you for 300 followers. It tastes like sour apple candy plus vinegar and artificial dill, and I cannot stress enough the phrase artificial dill. Oh. Well. What was that thing? Hey, Gilfy Skin. It was a gummy pickle candy. Would not recommend. Has a terrible dill taste. Now, Gail, thank you for the 300 bits. Is that for the pickle or is that for a chaser? Safe to say I won't get a sponsorship. Darn. Chaser? Okay. Well, let's get back into the game. There is no guarantee. Honestly, I'd take the pine cone over the pickle. All right, you got some good candy for me. Green tea candy. Okay, wow, we're up to 3 of the 5 Japanese candies. This one is actually good. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever try artificial dill myself, and then here I am. I actually swallowed it, which is more than I can say for the spicy. Well, Bennett always bites, but this isn't Bennett. This is Diogenes. But I guess I no longer have the specter of the pickle looming in the candy drawer. You can't spell Diogenes? You're so close, though. Diogenes. The face of regret. It really is. Pickle living in the drawer. Roman, 1014 XP. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. I can't really taste much of the matcha in this candy, but I guess it is helping cleanse my palate of sadness. Oh, come on. We've done this before. I know launching can't work, because then I can't swing my hammer around. Have I ever had bacon-flavored candy? Yes. Yes, I have. It's not very good. Artificial smoke is the right way to describe it. You're originally from New York. Hey, that's awesome. Went to Cardinal Hayes. Very nice. Now live in Ocala, Florida. There you go. Seminary. Awesome. That is awesome. Welcome. Come on in. So you're studying for a diocese in Florida or a religious community? Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. Progress. You've had chocolate-covered bacon? Yeah. Chocolate-covered bacon's okay. I think there was that bacon hype of the 2010s. Non-denominational. Oh, awesome. That's still beautiful. Lawyer for 20 years. That is that is definitely a sign of a vocation, I feel, and you got something like that. Working on doctorate. A demon. That's awesome. Bacon milkshake. Yeah, well, that can be really good when you can use bacon fat, especially in the whipped cream. Had a bacon brownie in college. Are you sure it was bacon and not something else? Well, Gale has redeemed a father joke. And this is a perfect one, you know. We've got Diogenes here with his buff arms, exercising. You know what exercises lazy people do? Diddly squats. Was in the college cafeteria. Okay, fair. But in college, you kind of have to ask. Technically, for the prediction, if we vote the furthest obstacle, aren't we correct by default? No. Pot does not taste like bacon. Well, maybe the bacon was trying to cover it up. Also, thought you were going to go work on your baby bedding. Come on, Dodgies. There you go. Get yourself. No.
Oh.
Ah. He has bad kidneys. Yes, the closest behind. Oh, good. Thank you for sharing the clips. Okay. I was actually just thinking I needed more clips because I had run out on YouTube. There's so many new emotes. There are, especially because like they've been replacing some, like Bible Thump. They didn't renew the license for. Yeah, I got lots of clips, especially of me falling. Diogenes, please, just stay on the rock. I know you're a cynic, but it doesn't mean you have to hate everything. You don't have to hate fun. I have a YouTube channel? I do. It's all just recordings of my VODs, as well as turning clips into shorts. I don't do any, like, I tried doing highlights. Didn't have time for it. But I haven't done anything like a video essay or anything like that. But if you do !YouTube, it should bring up a link. Okay, this is okay, so long as I'm here. Dang it. Editing takes so long. It does. And I don't mind editing. I actually have been known to enjoy it, but just like, I only have so much time in my life. And I do, in fact, have other duties beyond just my video content. Like articles. I'm publishing a new article on Busted Halo on Monday, all about Halloween costumes. Plato defines a game as an interactive entertainment decoupled from real life. Well, Plato defined lots of things incorrectly. You mean you do act?
Hang
You
in
actually
there.
do other things?
Don't let it get to you.
Strange,
But
I know,
also,
but yes.
Let it get you a little bit.
Diogenes, your momentum is awful. Plato also gave us Atlantis, and now everyone wants to find a city at the bottom of the ocean, not realizing that he was using it as a metaphor. It's kind of like when political science people read The Republic and are like, ah, yes, we should use these principles to govern people. It's like, no, it's a metaphor for the soul. He even says that. There's a new game in the genre of Sisyphus. Yep. We have no choice but to imagine players happy. Okay, Huxley. So glad I rebuilt my gaming PC to play this. Camo, sorry. Right error, wrong name. And this is why the Greek Cynics department cut the brake lines on his car. Need you to squeeze up and in. So happy about this cold front tonight. How cold is a cold front in Florida? Like, not saying that as a judgment, just kind of curious what the weather's like. Currently 68 with wind chill going down to 43. Ooh, wow. Yeah, it's some nice crisp fall weather. It was like mid-50s here in the city today, but if you were in the sun, it was still pretty warm. Like, sometimes how the reticle decides to stay with the hammer versus sometimes not is very confusing. Like, not moving anything, and then the reticle is just like, ah, yes, I shall move over here. Going from 83 to 53. Nice. But yeah, I was out and about. I went to confession today downtown. And walking in the sun, it was still kind of toasty. Excuse me. I feel like I had that. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, put you. There's like a very fine point here in the chimney. Where I can pull myself up, but if I go any further, it gives way. Just want to be on the rock. It's good enough. Okay. If I pull myself up like this, and start pushing myself away. Jinfuku13, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. You joined just in time for some great pain and suffering. Once you're hooked up to the first lamp, rather than hoisting yourself up, let your body hang in the void and send a strong impulse upward. Oh, okay. It's definitely one of those frustrating things that I did make it through here earlier. Oh, I did not. I did not do that. Game, I vehemently disagree. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Whoa! No, 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 nope, nope, nope. Not eating myself over the yellow rock again. Oh, shoot.
Life is a mosaic of pleasure and pain. Grief is an interval between two moments of joy. Peace is the interlude between two wars. You have no rose without a thorn. The diligent picker will avoid the pricks and gather the flower. Satya Sai Baba.
You know what I'm blaming? I'm blaming the pickle. Because the pickle had mineral oil on it. Come on. Get. You know what? I'll take it.
Sorrow is my own yard, where the new grass flames as it has flamed often before, but not with the cold fire that closes round me this year. William Carlos Williams.
Now he's playing mad. He went all quiet. Nah. I'm just... We've been here. I don't know what to say. Gotta run. Hey, Churro. So good to see you. I hope you have a great night. You take care.
No.
Okay, this is fine. This is fine. We can work with this. We can't work with this. Not the yellow rock! To be fair, technically, it wasn't the yellow rock that did me in. It was the wall above the yellow rock.
Just like a balloon, I've read the note she left me 1,000,000 times a day.
Jinfuku, I just noticed your message about you playing on phone. I didn't even know this was on phone. That, ooh, I imagine basically your finger just goes where the reticle is. That sounds even worse. That sounds worse than trackball. Full disclosure, I did not clear the chimney in the 20 minutes I played on Monday. So what I'm hearing, Gail, is the 400 followers special is a race between you and I. Hey, Mel. Special stream indeed. A thank you for everyone following the channel and getting us up to 300.
Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these. It might have been. John Greenleaf Whittier.
But it's fall. It should be brown leaf. Either that, we try to do the Captain Crew bit on FTL. Oh, that would be great. That is such a funny bit. Do I feel the pain and suffering? Yes, especially when I eat the pickle candy. You know how I said this game looked like it would make me frustrated and angry? I still think that. Your sleep schedule is still messed up. Oh no, Mel! Does this keep you humble now that I'm at 300 followers? Yeah. I mean, I know I'm basically the next Mr. Beast. No, please, no, I am not the next Mr. Beast in so many ways. You don't need a sleep schedule if you just don't sleep. I recommend that even less. So you're going to gift me tons of money, Father? No. That's one of the many ways I am not like the next Mr. Beast. Okay, so Jinfuku said hang from the first chandelier. First of all, I need tons of money. That is something I demonstrably do not have. Hashtag vow of poverty and all that. Hey, Crimsonite, thank you, thank you. No, Gail, you cannot buy into that logic. Okay, yeah, technically I don't have a vow in the strict technical canonical sense, but it's still there in the Constitution. And trust me when I say it's there in the amount of money I have. Everyone thinks I didn't sleep. No, it's not that you didn't sleep, it's that you slept at the wrong time. I go without sleeping for days at a time. I can follow that logic. No, Gail, that's bad. Find some very heavy, low-value coins. You might be able to get tons of money. Yes, I'm going to make my pennies out of lead. Vows Poverty plays in gaming PC. I use this for work. Ooh. No! I got through! It's the worst. I got there. Work? Yeah, this is work. Mel T. Great, thank you for the 300 bits. Oh, the pain and suffering continues. hold on. Let me just get to a spot of safety. It's a mistake to do this at night. Oh, we just did that. Wait. I screwed up earlier. When I saw green tea candy, I grabbed the matcha candy because that's what it is, but I forgot we do have actual green tea candy. You didn't pull a single all-nighter? Neither did I. I hope this doesn't have that much caffeine. I guess if a serving is 4. Accidentally just dropped the green tea one. Fortunately, only some spilled. That is odd. He's to do an all-nighter on sugar. That's the real problem. It's not the caffeine, because this has so little caffeine in it. Per candy. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. That's like a legit latte flavor. Nope. Nope. That's not what I did. I barely moved my mouse, and Diogenes decided, ah, yes. I shall yeet myself for the mountains. Never got to meet my mother's mother, but I do know that on her headstone, the word mañana, sorry, I really butchered that, mañana, is engraved. It's because if you asked her for something, it would be ready. She was just the usual answer. Nice. Yeah, Jinfuku, I'm definitely feeling it in the wrist. Ooh. You missed up the tilde. I thought so. That's what really threw me off. I was trying to do mananya. As your phone had typed it. Okay. Okay. Now let myself down. Yeet. Okay. Okay. So I need to move my mouse back up pretty quickly. But that makes sense. I know there's a way to load up a Spanish keyboard, but I don't know how. And at this point, probably just too afraid to ask. As the meme goes. Mañana mama. Okay. 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 I can I feel pretty confident about my ability to get through the Devil's Chimney pretty consistently now. I say as I cannot even rest up here. Thank you, Jin Fuku, for that advice. That was uber helpful. Okay. Rest there. Hey, Gale. The, Devil's Chimney is currently winning. Okay, I've made it through here before. And it really does seem to be the best plan is get a good rhythm going. Oh, no. Let myself down. My wrist is not done hurting. No, not until this game is beaten. Although that's not happening tonight. We're probably just gonna go till about 9 o'clock. And cause another point sold by getting to the orange table. Yeah, I totally get to the orange table. Okay, okay, this is the farthest we've made it.
There's 3D models of breakfast, Gen X's fanfic novels, Scan magazines, green screen Shia LaBeouf banned stuff scenes on LiveLeak. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups.
Probably.
Car crash epic failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten, untitled.
Like Goose Game?
Everything's fresh for about 6 seconds, until some newer thing beckons, and we hit refresh. And there's years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
Whoop, that floor is pretty slippery. Okay. Let's take stock of what's going on. Just like this is a game mentioning Lively, which isn't even a thing anymore. Yeah. Hashtag timely. It's okay. It's okay. Ooh. I'm so lucky there's this safety system right here.
If you try to please audiences, uncritically accepting their tastes, it can only mean that you have no respect for
Concern it.
Andrei Tarkovsky.
I did not do that! I put my hand back on my mouse and you were like, ah, yes, I shall do lots of movements. Currently winning 3. I'm doing my bank spin on the wheel now. I didn't say it was a perfect safety system, but, you know, it did stop me from falling completely down at first. Yeet!
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Iced tea.
You could always put the points in the points hole. I've already done that once before. The points hole always hungers, though. Wait for a good GEC. I need, like, a high ticket redeem. Maybe even merch. Should I get merch? I don't know. This would be a good moment for GEC, and it wouldn't even be mine. It would be Bennett's. And Step Zero, thank you for the 300 bits. I'm not going to bed anytime soon, but that's okay. I don't have anything in the morning.
When to the sessions of sweet silent thought I summon up remembrance of things past, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes new, wail my dear time's waste. William Shakespeare, Sonnet 30.
Don't get merch, it involves capitalism. So does giving and getting bits. And candy. Plus, it doesn't have to be my merch. I could send out, like, Busted Halo stickers. We already have those. Okay, let me just rest on this bucket, and we'll get to the wheel. My stomach is a little upset, I ain't gonna lie, but it's worth it. Maybe it's not worth it. I hope I land on ginger or cinnamon at some point. But tonight it's cardamom. Oh. Yep, that's a lot of cardamom.
If I'm messing you up, you can mute me in the settings.
But where would the fun in that be? Ah!
Patience is the foundation of eternal
Keep
peace.
screwing that up.
Make anger your enemy. Harm comes to those who know only victory and do not know defeat. Find fault with yourself and not with others. It's in falling short of your own goals that you'll surpass
kidneys. I
those
thought
who
I'd
exceed
get over
theirs.
it again. Hey,
Tokugawa
it's the name of the
Ieyasu.
game.
She smiled in defeat with unconquerable eyes. Atticus.
The aftertaste of the cardamom is just a lot. Kids, this is your brain on cardamom. Somebody tells you can't be muted until 2 hours in. Yeah. Find fault with yourself, not with others. Some dude who found the Emperor so lacking he took over. Look, Horus was a bit of a butt. Unless that was Lucius, in which case he was a double butt. You're so excited tomorrow you get paid. And all your birthday treats is getting the best Halo hoodie. Let's go! It's a comfy hoodie. Yeah, Rock does seem to be my enemy. It is my nemesis. And now this Rock is my friend! Rock friend, why would you betray me like that? These cardamom pastilles taste like a flower. Which I suppose is fitting considering cardamom is a seed pod, but still.
Your failure here is a metaphor. To learn for what, please resume climbing.
It doesn't really change that much of the water. Okay. Okay, we're past the rock. We're past the rock. We're past the Nemesis rock. I know you're part of a flower, but quit tasting like one. Well, I mean, kind of. See, like that. I tried to put my hammer just on the ground, and Dodges is like, ah, yes, I shall launch myself. Squirrel Itch, you redeemed me, gratuitous educational content. A father joke, and the point soul! And emote-only chat. Okay. Is now emote-only chat. I have all the power. So before I was a priest, I got a job working in security. And, you know, my boss said it was a pretty easy job. All I had to do was watch The Office. And so, you know, after watching 8 seasons, I still can't figure out what this show has to do with the job. Mel, I feel like you had that prepared and lined up. Oh. Whatever. Okay. No, get on the rock. Like that. I didn't touch anything and dodge is like yeet. Lower myself down. Get up. Ah, come on. I just want to make it through the devil's chimney. One more time. Prove them haters. Or prove them wrong. I don't know. It's late. Rest yourself on the rock. There you go. Are we trying to scare me with the mushrooms, or are we trying to... This darn mouse is all slippery. From the mineral oil of that stupid pickle. Are you serious? Oh, well, at least I didn't fall all the way back down. Diogenes, what are you doing? Literally no one asked you to do that. I was hanging! I was on the lantern! Ah! Done? No, I ain't done yet.
Ah.
60 seconds? I'm overriding you, Gale. We're gonna keep going for a little longer. Oh, hey, someone named Goofus McDoofus Business Horse is playing a game called Raft. I have no idea who that is at this point. That's someone I met at some point in my life who has now changed their Steam username so many times that I don't even remember who it's supposed to be. But you know what? It brings a smile to my face to see Goofus McDoofus Business Horse. I need to turn off notifications. I didn't realize I hadn't done that yet on the new computer. So I don't like the names of my friends showing up on stream. That's rude. Oh, come on. Diogenes? Excuse me, young man. Like, why do I just start What? What? That is not what I did! Ah! Like, sometimes I do the thing to launch myself, and he does it, and other times he's like, I'm just gonna fall. And sometimes he just slides off of a surface that he's normally fine with sitting on. It's a terrible positioning for my mouse. Okay. Boom. Now you can call the prediction, Gale. And that is also, I think, where I'm going to call it for the night. I think it's all the candy and getting over it I can handle. All right, it's 4 minutes past 9 p.m. And I think that's where I'm going to have to call, because that's about where my brain is handling it. So let's see these details. Bad Roxy has won. And two others. I can't see the two others. I go to details and it's like, haha, congratulations. Ice wall bucket. I'm glad no one thought I was going to make it very far. Although someone did think I was going to make it to household fun. But I made it past tree and devil's chimney. You're one of them. All right. I was overridden by the boss. I did override. I used my executive streamer power. I can do that. I have control. But thank you so much, Gail, for running those predictions during this bonus stream. That was a lot of fun. Great way to involve the community. And thank you to you for following the channel. Thank you for building us up to 300. Next major milestone will be 400, of course, but you know, we're gonna keep doing the regular thing as well. In the meantime, gonna keep up the regular schedule. So follow us. Join the channel again tomorrow for Castlevania 4 at the usual time. Then next week, and then Friday, I'll be on P. Tony's channel for Game of Faves. Next week, Chrono Trigger on Monday, Spiritfarer on Tuesday, Midweek Minecraft on Wednesday, and then a special surprise on Thursday for Halloween. Because it is Halloween next week, right? No, it's not Halloween next week. Never mind. The Halloween stream's the week after. I have no idea what day it is anymore. I've lost track of all time. The week after. Yeah, there we go. So this coming week, we'll see how far we get in Castlevania. That'll be the thing. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for everyone sharing, subscribing, cheering the bits, gifting the subs, checking out the Discord, checking out the YouTube, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Today's the 16th. No, that sounds made up. And I'm gonna see if any of the friends are live to raid into right now. I'm gonna send you on over to Junie. Raid call is gonna be we've had sugar, now it's your problem. So give Junie some love. Oh, Brett is live? Well, go check out Brett as well. I've already set this rated. I'm going to bed. But hope everyone has a great rest of their night. Take care and God bless.